Here is the story. So this is going to be interesting. So this is from Callie Means. Callie Means starts off with, says, early in my career, I consulted for Coke to ensure sugar tax failed and soda was included in food stamp funding. I say Coke's policies are evil because I saw inside the room. The first step in Playbook was paying the NAACP plus other civil rights groups to call opponents racist. Coke gave millions to the NAACP and the Hispanic Federation, both directly and through front groups like the American Beverage Association. This picked up in 2011 to 2013 when the Farm Bill and soda taxes were under consideration. She continued. This person continues. The conversations inside these rooms were depressingly transactional. Quote, we, Coke, will give you money. You need to paint opponents of us as racist, end quote. The effort was successful, and the message was carried in the thousands of articles between 2011 to 2013. Coke's position was clear. Soda is one of the cheapest ways to get calories, a flagrantly inaccurate statement when factoring in the health consequences. I watched the FDA funnel money to professors at leading universities as well as think tanks on the left and right. Well, it should be liberal and right, to create studies showing soda taxes hurt the poor. They also paid for studies that say drinking soda didn't cause obesity. And it says the ABA has said taxes on sodas will hurt poor and local businesses while unfairly targeting one product. They also challenged a link between soft drinks and obesity, saying obesity rates have risen even as U.S. consumption of full-calorie sodas have declined. So, of course, not mentioned in these studies are the incontrovertible fact that sugary drinks are one of the top causes of obesity and diabetes, leading to harrowing statistics like this. And it talks about diabetes rates surge in U.S. young adults, study finds. Soda companies are deeply embedded in the USDA, so much so that the agency carries discredited talking points like there are no bad food, only bad diets, end quote. This ignores the fact that sugar is highly addictive and has negative nutritional value. In the end, racial tensions flared. Soda spending was kept in SNAP, that is food stamps, funding, and many of the soda taxes were defeated. Of course, this has been a disaster for low-income communities. Addictive, deadly sugary drinks should never be included in government nutrition program. People saying that restricting soda from SNAP funding is paternalistic or an assault on personal choice are unwittingly doing the work of the soda companies. You can't have a free market if the market is rigged. It says, if this resonates. Okay. So basically, the NAACP has been advocating for big sugar, essentially. And while I am a person that is about free choice, there's a component in this that I think Crystal and Sagar miss. And I'm going to be showing their comments really quick. And there's a component that we would bring out, but they haven't. So I'm going to share my screen really quick and let's listen to what they say. Now, Sagar basically just finishes reading what I read. So
that the soda companies themselves, as Callie points out, are deeply embedded in the USDA, so much so that the agency actually has talking points on its websites that, quote, there are no bad foods, there are only bad diets, which, of course, ignores the world of sugar and even the worst part that I think that he really exposes is that whenever Coke was doing this lobbying campaign, they were trying to keep soda spending inside of the food stamp program, specifically to make sure that it was available to lower income communities who disproportionately drink and eat some of the unhealthiest foods imaginable, except this part they're doing with government assistance. So the reason that I wanted to highlight this thread is because it just highlights how difficult it is for so many of us to try and parse through all of the information when the world around us is being shaped by major forces which are just trying to make money and which are really making a lot of us unhealthier. At a baseline level, I think what's so important in this thread is to just not trust so much of the meta mass cultural marketing that we're seeing from a lot of different forces. I don't want to make this into some cringe, reacting to a fat positivity ad or something. But I do want to say that when you see that, you should realize that it's part of a concerted campaign in order to make money. It's used in a way to co-opt possibly, the well-meaning notion that we shouldn't bully anybody or you shouldn't intentionally try and make people feel bad. Of course, nobody wants to have racism exist in our society, but to combine these forces, which actually co-opt them then for profit and to push something on you, which is fundamentally not good for you. So I'm not going to tell you what to do because I barely know what to do. I'm literally struggling with it right now myself. I will tell you, though, that you should be very skeptical of a lot of the information that is out there. There is no what Crystal just covered. There's no get rich quick scheme. There's also just no scheme in order to just lose weight immediately. It's a very concerted and difficult process. And on top of that, losing weight at the same time, trying to be sustainably healthy for the rest of your life, it's going to be one of the most difficult journeys that a lot of us are going to embark on. But the one thing that we do know is that the big food companies, and specifically the U.S. government right now, is not on our side. Crystal, that's what I really just wanted to highlight for everybody in this thread, because it really is just disgusting and evil. And it kind of fits with that big food lobbyist nutritionist, the video that we had highlighted here previously on the show, which is you have a concerted campaign here to basically try and keep people fat as possible. And also, I can't help but think about something, you and I have talked about as well with the healthcare system. It's not like the healthcare system is designed either to try and shield and help consumers make better choices. Instead, It's just designed to treat the most catastrophic of the problems like diabetes by, let's say, selling you insulin instead of saying, hey, insulin resistance is not a death sentence. It's not permanent. You actually can do something about it. Here are different ways that we can talk about and all that, but there's not nearly as much money to be made, or at least in the current structure right now.
People being unhealthy is very profitable for a lot of industries. And big soda and big food needs to be added to the list of when people think of evil blocks of power in society, because, some of the things that they did.
Rome, what are they missing? What is the problem?
A war on black people.
What's the overarching? Because there's an overarching theme that they keep going towards, but then they pivot.
So does the fuck out.
So the thing is that they keep going close. They keep inching closer to the actual source of problem, but then they back away. Oh, these evil corporations, they're doing it for profit. Why? It's the profit motive. And the thing is that they keep missing this.
Because they're capitalists.
Because the thing is that...
Why do you think he beating around the bush? He's like, I don't want to be like, I don't want to go like this. I don't want to come off like that. Nigga, get to the fucking point.
Yeah.
Pussy.
My thing is look, if you're going to talk about the problem, then let's talk about the problem, okay? You're talking about, evil corporations. The thing is that all corporations are basically evil because they have the profit motive. And guess what? All these extremely important industries. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to say this. If we didn't have that issue of the for-profit motive, then would they be pushing towards organizations like the NAACP in order to prop them up in the sugar industry? Would they be doing that? No, because they wouldn't be doing it for profit. So we shouldn't be needing the for-profit industry for these things, right? And so skirting around the issue, saying, "Well, they're just the bad ones." No. The profit motive is in itself is the reason why we're going through what we're going through. And so the thing is that they keep skirting past it.
And
the crazy part.
Don't forget these corporations. They have a big hand in destroying the black community. Like like this these articles in this tweet is telling us how they plan on this helping help our leaders destroy our community, giving them money to sell us out, keep us fat, keep us, unhealthy. And nobody's just looking at it like, oh, well, NAACP sold out the black communities of America. Nobody is saying that. Like, dude, they literally sold us out to corporations. How many more corporations is getting money? NAACP is getting money from to sell us out. Who else is they getting money from to not speak on injustice? They only come out when you big enough. That's funny. You got to go damn near viral nowadays for them to come out to bail you out of jail or et cetera, et cetera. But what have they done overall? If they done this, though, imagine what else they have done with their time. Imagine how much damage they actually done to the black communities. And I'd be damned if I just sit here and be like, oh, look, let's just skim over that part because nobody cares about black people. Nobody cares about sugar. Not only them pushing crack cocaine in our neighborhoods, but sugar is more addictive than any motherfucking drug out here.
Yeah.
What did they do? I wonder how much money they took from the CIA and the FBI then to not actually push against the war on drugs, or actually push against drugs in our communities and build rehabilitation centers.
Yeah. I mean, list how many foods have high fructose corn syrup in it. There's corn in everything. And my thing is like, you wouldn't have to regulate people's food or their eating habits if the profit motive in these food industries weren't, existed. If, let's say, for hypothetically, if these drink companies were co-ops and they were more focused on, yes, these things are they have sugar and they're really tasty, but at the same time, we don't want to hurt our communities, they would not be chasing that profit motive like crazy. You know what I mean? And there's an article that actually brings this out that I want to talk about as well. And this is out of the Huffington Post. And this came out in 2013. It says how Big Soda co-opted the NAACP and Hispanic Federation. And this, let me see, this says, both these organizations have close ties and receive funding from the soda industry, yet both neglected to mention their financial ties to Big Soda when they spoke out against Mayor Michael Bloomberg's 16-ounce sugary drink portion cap, and when they filed an amicus brief in support of the soda industry lawsuit to halt the measure. The cap, which was approved by New York City Board of Health in September 2012, is scheduled to be implemented in April 2013. So this was years ago, about 10 years ago. But here's some of the facts. Let me make sure I make this big enough so that everybody can see. So it says NAACP in 2011-2012, the Coca-Cola Foundation awarded the NAACP $100,000 for Project Health, healthy eating, lifestyle change, and physical activity. In 2011, the Coca-Cola Foundation granted $35,000 to the NAACP New York State Conference for their education initiatives. Coca-Cola and PepsiCo were sponsors of the 2011 NAACP New York State Conference 75th Annual Convention. Pepsi was recognized with an NAACP award in 2010. PepsiCo's website says it is working with the NAACP to advance national leadership and grassroots activism. Bullshit. NAACP received a Pepsi corporate contribution for education and inclusion in 2010. Putting it all in perspective, 2011 article in a Houston Style magazine reports that since 1986, the Coca-Cola Foundation has awarded a total of $2.1 million to the NAACP, including over $490,000 to various local chapters, $578,000 to the national chapter for annual national conference sponsorship, and $500,000 for the legal defense fund, and $522,000 for the Atlanta chapter. That's just the NAACP alone. We're not even talking about the Hispanic Federation. I'm sorry.
Holy fuck! These people really sold us out. So
yeah,
man, like I said.
Oh, there's more.
Black and brown faces in high places, man. You never can trust them, man. You never can trust them.
Now, here's the damning part. Of course, the NAACP and Hispanic Federation are not the only nonprofit organizations whose policy decisions have been called on the carpet in light of their quote-unquote partnerships and funding from Big Soda. The the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, the American Heart Association, Save the Children, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Diabetes Association, the American Cancer Society, and the American Academy of Family Physicians have all taken funding from the soda industry and should be continuously scrutinized. Public health attorney Michael Simon's damning report on the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics big food sponsors were just released this week. So basically meaning these foundations are also colluding with the capitalistic industries, these industries that are really out there to basically give us more salt, fat, and sugar for profit, making us more unhealthy instead of pushing more healthy options our way. That being said, this is why capitalism is a problem. And here's the thing. A lot of times people will talk about, oh, you just need to exercise more. You just need to make better food options. The thing is that some of us are fat because it's a systemic problem, not an individual problem. How many smoothies have I been having? You know, of course I need to walk more, and that's one of the things. But of course, here's the crazy part. A lot of times, a lot of these things that are pushed your way isn't necessarily your fault. And sometimes it's because we live in poverty. And so what choices do we have? I mean, I can spend $1.50, get a pack of ramen noodles way quicker than I'll get filled up on a pack of ramen noodles way quicker than I will get filled up on a bag of spinach.
Yeah, and I remember somebody pointed that out a long time ago, how it's a shame how the salads cost more than the burgers. And that's how you know they're trying to push, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to make you unhealthy as possible, you know? It's crazy, and people will be like, oh, just conspiracy. No, it ain't no conspiracy, motherfucker. We got receipts. We got the receipts. The government is against us. They're trying to poison black and brown communities, knowing what sugar does to the body, to the brain, after so many years. This is the outcome. Look at our community now. Look at how many black people is diabetic.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I just want to answer something. This person says, how about just drink water? Okay, so number one, how dirty is the water that comes out of our faucet? Number one, let's talk to the people in Flint and Jackson, Mississippi. Number one. Number two, how many of these industries like Coca-Cola, like PepsiCo, own Dasani, Zephyr Hills? They own Evian Water. They own all these different water companies. If you want to go that route, they actually own these companies too. So guess what? You're still giving money to these big companies. So that's the crazy part. This is why I say capitalism is one of the biggest issues that we have to contend with. Yes, you do all the choices that you possibly can in order to combat it. That's absolutely true. But you also have to realize this. One of the major contenders to our health is capitalism, because it's the poor profit motive that actually counts on us being more unhealthy so that it is a circular motion. So the food that we eat constantly will make us unhealthy, which makes us go into big pharma and into the for-profit healthcare industry, thus making us more quickly die. It's just crazy. And then on top of that,
and your fat ass kids gonna do the same shit.
Yeah, and then guess what? Guess what? The healthcare industrial complex also will make money off of that too, because then they also will sell us things to make it seem more healthier in order to make these options, when really they're not really there to give us healthier options. And so it's all one circular thing. This is why the for-profit motive needs to be expunged. It needs to be, destroyed, because this is the problem that capitalism has on us as a people.
So pay to die. Basically, that's basically what you're doing, because, dude, and this is why I don't give tips of getting healthy. People ask me, what's your workout routine? Nothing. I was born like this, motherfucker. Everybody ain't got that, So, and like my way or thoughts, or even if I was big and I was like, okay, maybe you should try this, man, maybe I should shut the fuck up. Maybe it ain't my business. Maybe it ain't my business, because I know that the problem comes, dog. Come to my hood. Come to my hood. You're gonna see the advertising. Cigarettes, liquor. You know what I'm saying? Fast food everywhere. You don't see Panera Bread. You don't see, a Whole Foods. You don't see the healthy shit. That's the shit that we've been eating for generations now. And it's way bigger than, maybe you just do a couple of fucking sit-ups a day. Like, no, you are unhealthy from the inside out. Like, they got your whole body trapped from the pills, the sugar, the cigarettes, even the weed nowadays, the liquor, the whole body is trapped. So even if you do lose weight, guess what? You're still a fucking addict. So you got some opinions of getting off of drugs. Then when we get off of drugs, now we gotta look at the world like it is. Oh my God. It wasn't anxiety, it was capitalism. Now I need another pill. Now I need a Xanax, because fuck this world.
Yeah.